Introducing the brand new mob, the Creaking. It spawns in the brand new Pale Garden biome. This is what it looks like, and it only spawns at night. But it doesn't spawn like zombies and skeletons do, because in the Pale Garden you can find these creaking hearts. This is basically the Creaking's heart, meaning that there's a creaking nearby. As you can see, I'm in survival mode and it's not attacking me. But why isn't it attacking me? Because I'm looking at it. That's right, it works exactly like a weeping angel in Doctor Who, except unlike any other mob in game, you can't actually hit it. It just has these particles that go towards the creaking heart. You might be able to see where this is going, but if you break the creaking heart, then the creaking disappears. This also unlocks the Monster Hunter advancement. Now, if we were to resummon it again, let's see this brand new property. So, whenever I look away, the creaking chases me. It doesn't know that I'm looking at it when I'm in F5 mode though. You can easily walk away from it. It only does 1 heart of damage on normal mode, but it attacks pretty slowly. Now, I'm not actually sure, so let's see what happens whenever I set the time to day. And just like that, he disappears. Overall, it's pretty scary and pretty fun. Now, of course, with the brand new forest, we got a brand new wood type. The type in question being pale oak. It's literally one of the brightest wood types that I've ever seen in my life. Of course, you've been seeing the trees throughout the world because this is the brand new biome. Inside of these trees, you can, of course, find the creaking hearts. Sometimes. They're like beehives. Now, there aren't really any special properties about the wood, but let's go over everything that's been added with this new wood type. We got the log and stripped oak log, planks, and all the stuff that comes with it, including the fence and fence gate. And we can't forget the pale oak door and the pale oak trapdoors. The door looks awesome. Of course, we got the sign and the hanging sign. And the boats. You can craft it all just like any other recipe. Of course, you've been seeing some of the more peculiar blocks of the biome, like the pale hanging moss and the pale moss carpet. The pale hanging moss can be placed on the bottom of blocks and extended downwards, unlike the hanging root block, which can't. But of course, it's very much like the glow berries. It drops when you break it, which is a little weird, but welcome. And we got one of the most notable blocks, the pale moss carpet. Its visuals are basically identical to the regular moss carpet, except the texture is toned down, and it has a very peculiar property. Whenever it's placed next to any blocks, it'll grow this small moss patch right next to it, and you can place more blocks around it to do this. What's interesting about this is that you can use a debug stick to change up the block, even taking out the bottom, so it gives you this weird 3D kind of grass thing. Builders are gonna love this. Now back to the creaking heart. Whenever it's placed between 2 pale oak logs, it activates, and it'll only spawn the creaking at night. It doesn't work for any other type of log. But one peculiar thing about this is that you can destroy at the top, you can activate and deactivate it plenty of times by breaking and replacing the log. Another thing to be noted is it has to be facing the same direction. It can't be sideways, for example. Now, the creaking heart will only drop itself if you use Silk Touch, so you can use this new block to prank your friends. And last but not least, we got an overview of the Pale Garden itself. It's basically the dark oak biome, except pale. It doesn't have anything other than the features I've mentioned, and honestly is quite empty, albeit a little ominous. I would appreciate to see a little bit more plants because after all, this is a garden, not a forest. But this is what we have now, and it's pretty cool. Another quick thing to mention is that you can bone meal pale moss blocks, just like regular moss. And here's the sapling for the pale oak tree. You can't grow it on its own, but if you have 4 right next to each other, then it will grow. Subscribe for more weekly videos, daily shorts, and weekly streams. I'm also very close to 10K.